In the headlines, reactions trail Presidential Election Petitions Tribunal verdict. Borno State government prescribes 7-year jail term for political thugs. Police arrest 10 over killing of Ekiti University nursing student. And away from Nigeria, Rwanda police arrest suspected serial killer after finding bodies in his kitchen. Hello there and welcome to News Update on Trust TV. I'm Sagir Ibrahim. Hello and welcome once again. Following the judgment of the Presidential Election Petitions Tribunal, which upheld the election of President Bola Tinubu as winner of the February 25th presidential election, Nigerians have continued to express their views on the verdict. Trust TV's Ado Musa gets the reactions of some of the residents of Jos and now reports.
The Presidential Election Petitions Tribunal upheld the declaration of President Bola Tinubu as the winner of the last presidential election by the Independent National Electoral Commission. But the candidates of the PDP, LP and APM were not satisfied with the victory of Tinubu. This development has left many Nigerians expressing their views on the subject matter. To some residents of Jos, the outcome of the tribunal is not surprising, as the verdict was expected even before the judgment day.
Well, from the judgment that was just passed by the tribunal, actually it didn't come to me as a surprise because of the previous experience of tribunal judgment of this magnitude of the presidential election.
My advice to Nigerians is to move forward. The deed has already been done. We need to move forward. We still have ends to be met and our life have to continue. Our leaders, God knows why they are there, so we need to support them and move forward.
I feel it's expected because to me the evidences were not concrete enough. Personally, my own opinion.
The main candidates of the opposition parties, Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi, have since rejected the verdict of the Presidential Petition Election Tribunal. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Also, residents of Bauchi State have reacted to the verdict of the Presidential Elections Petitions Tribunal, expressing mixed feelings about the ruling of the tribunal. For some, despite the outcome, the petitioners should put Nigeria first and discontinue further legal pursuits in the interest of nation building. Trust TV's Adam Imam has the report.
Presiding judge of the Election Tribunal, Justice Haruna Zamani, led 4 other judges in dismissing the major planks on which Peter Obi rested his petition, challenging the victory of President Bola Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress in the 2023 general elections. In Bauchi State, residents have been reacting to the verdict of the tribunal. As citizens of this country, we know what we are going through. However, we accept the outcome of the election and the subsequent verdict of the tribunal because God chose him to lead us. My appeal for those who won is that they should make sure they work for the masses of this country and not siphon Nigerians' wealth and enjoy it with their families in the name of leadership. Since there are constitutional provisions for redress, if the judgment is not favorable to the petitioners, they can approach the Supreme Court. Our position is that if the judges did justice to the petitions, people should accept the verdict in good faith. It is not our wish in any case to lose, but God has already predestined what is going to happen. Those that won and lost at the tribunal should think about Nigeria and move the country forward.
Let everybody go back and exercise more, because the fact we have not lost hope. We are coming back. In fact, we'll win the battle. At least before 3 years now, we'll enter under election.
The tribunal also rejected 10 out of the 13 witnesses presented by Mr. Obi and ruled that the judgment of the U.S. Direct Court in Northern Illinois ordering the forfeiture of $460,000 being connected to proceeds of narcotic does not disqualify Tinubu from participating in the last general election. Samani stressed that the judgment was not given in a criminal case, adding that the decision does not amount to conviction as envisaged under the Nigerian Constitution. Adamu Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party and its presidential candidate in the February 25th, 2023 presidential election, Atiku Abubakar, will on Thursday address a world press conference over the verdict of the Presidential Elections Petitions Court. The court on Wednesday affirmed the victory of President Bola Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress, APC, while dismissing the petitions of Atiku and the Labour Party and its candidate Peter Obi challenging the outcome of the election. The press conference is to hold at the NEC Hall of the PDP national headquarters. Also, Senate President Godswill Akpabio has urged the opposition to accept the judgment of the Presidential Elections Petitions Court, which on Wednesday affirmed the victory of President Bola Tinubu in the 2023 presidential election. The five-member panel of justices presided over by Justice Haruna Tamani dismissed the petitions of Atiku Abubakar of People's Democratic Party, Peter Obi of the Labour Party and Chichi Ojei of the Allied People's Movement, and declared that Tinubu was duly elected. Akpabio, in a statement by his media office on Thursday, described the court verdict as an affirmation of the popular mandate of the Nigerian people for the Tinubu-Shettima ticket as delivered at the polls in February. He noted that the court painstakingly evaluated all the issues raised by the petitioners and delivered a clear verdict on the integrity of Nigeria's electoral process. Akpabio therefore urged Atiku, Obi and all Nigerians to support the Tinubu government in its drive to deliver the renewed hope agenda of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC. Still on politics, member representing Isukwato Umunochi Federal Constituency of Abia State in the House of Representatives, Amobi Oga, has rejected the judgment of the National Assembly Elections Petitions Tribunal, which overturned his victory. The tribunal, which sat in Umuahia, had nullified Amobi's election and declared the All Progressives Congress APC candidate and current Minister for State for Labour, Nkiruka Onyeji-Ocha, as the winner of the election for alleged non-compliance with provisions of the Electoral Act. But Amobi, while reacting to the verdict in a statement in Abuja on Thursday, described the judgment as strange and a miscarriage of justice, adding that he would appeal the verdict. Amobi said he was confident the desperation and mischievous attempt to scuttle the will of the people would be overturned by the justices of the appellate court. Also, the House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee on Failed Mass Transit Schemes across the country has summoned the Ministers of Finance, Trade and Investment, the Accountant General of the Federation, Head of Civil Service and other stakeholders to appear before the Investigative Committee. Chairman of the Ad Hoc Committee, Afam Ogene, issued the summon on Wednesday in Abuja at the resumed hearing of the committee. The report.
The failure of mass transits across the country is attributed to several factors, including poor planning, inadequate funding, and lack of government control. For the Abuja Metro, it was intended to be a mass transportation system that would connect the federal capital city with the aim of creating an affordable transportation system in the FCT. However, the project failed due to poor planning and inadequate funding. For the sake of finding lasting solutions to the problem, the committee observed that there were key ministries and agencies who failed to appear despite receiving notices from the clerk of the committee 1 week to the takeoff. The committee threatened to invoke sections of the Constitution and the Act of Parliament that gives the House the powers to invite any Nigerian or individual domiciled in the country and doing business within.
The Honorable Minister of Finance, the Acting Accountant General of the Federation, the Head of Service of the Federation, the Honorable Minister of Trade, Industry and Investment, they are to appear unfailingly on Tuesday, September 10, 2023 at 11 a.m. Additionally, the clerk of this honorable committee is to invite the managing director of the Infrastructure Bank to appear on same day, same time, to come with him at the following: the National Association of Road Transport Owners and the Road Transport Employers of Nigeria.
Earlier, members of the committee interfaced with the Abuja Investment Company Limited and the National Union of Road Transport Workers on ways to improve mass transportation in the country.
We are not here to wish hunt anybody.
Yes, sir.
But we want to get to the root of why it failed.
Yes, sir.
And because it has to be our business.
Absolutely.
Because if you are telling me that you are shareholding, you have a stake in Abuja Urban Mass Transit, you should be able to know what is going on there.
So likewise, maybe that was what actually prompted you, that made you to accept many of those vehicles, knowing fully well that this could be damaging to the image of the NURTW.
One of the challenges that we are facing is there are no clear, legal and regulatory framework for the urban mass transportation in the FCT. So that has actually made the private sector to be a little bit, wary of intervention. But efforts are still ongoing.
Recall that the House, during plenary before adjourning for recess, through a resolution of the House, passed a motion to investigate why mass transit schemes projects failed woefully. All parties involved are expected to appear before the ad hoc committee on Monday and Tuesday.
The Jigawa state government says it has dredged about 60 kilometers of the Hadejia River and erected over 100 kilometer embankments to control floods in the state. Governor Umar Namadi said this while speaking with journalists in Dutse on Wednesday. He said as part of proactive measures to avert flooding, the state government procured 2 amphibious excavators, while the Hadejia Jamari River Basin Development Authority deployed 2 others to facilitate the smooth execution of the project. Statistics of the Jigawa Flood Control and Mitigation Committee showed that the 2022 flood affected 22 local government areas, submerged 1,554 villages and 138,422.36 hectares of farmlands, while 130 persons lost their lives in the state. And away from Jigawa to Ekiti, the Ekiti State Police Command has arrested 10 suspects in connection with the killing of a 200-level nursing student of the Federal University Oye Ekiti, Foye, Atonda Modupe Deborah, by unknown persons. The command spokesman, DSP Sunday Abutu, told newsmen on Wednesday that the suspects are in custody undergoing investigation. Abutu said the body of the late Deborah was found in a shallow grave at a distance of about 30 meters behind the nursing lecture hall. The Commissioner of Police, Ogundari Dari, vowed that the command will do everything possible to unearth the identities of the perpetrators and ensure they are made to face the full wrath of the law. Deborah was reported missing on Monday after she went to read at night but did not return. You're watching News Update on Trust TV. Still to come. Putting food on the table remains a big challenge for the physically challenged persons. More news after the break. Do stay.
But as an elder, a most prominent son of the area,
yes,
were you able to intervene to help sort out the problem?
Yes.
So you are detained because of the riot without knowing what it was all about?
Exactly. I was just framed up. And how did it happen?
Trust TV presents a riveting exclusive interview with General Zamani Lekwot. In the comfort of his home in Kaduna, the retired general went over his long life and recalled the tragic events that led to loss of hundreds of lives in his hometown, Zangun Kataf, in May 1992.
There was nothing connected with me about a market riot. I have no shop there. I don't live in the town. They don't know me. People who did it wanted to hide the truth. Either to blackmail me or to placate me for what reasons, only they know.
Revealing his side of the story, General Lekwot said he was framed, tried, convicted and pardoned for a crime he did not commit in the first place.
When Babangida government saw that there was no case in the case, Decree number 55 of 1973 was enacted, directing the tribunal to send all their proceedings to Abuja, barring us from appealing. Then the hostility of Justice Okadibo, who appeared to be a hired agent, because he violated the legal proceedings in court. He was supposed to be a high court judge.
It is all in reminiscences next Saturday, September 9th at 8 p.m. with the repeat on Thursday, September 14th at 10 p.m. only on your trusted television channel. Welcome back. If you're just joining, you're watching News Update on Trust TV. Now recap of some of our major stories. Reaction trails Presidential Elections Petitions Tribunal verdict. And also, Borno State government prescribes 7-year jail term for political thugs. Moving on to more news now, as Nigerians continue to assess the performance of President Bola Tinubu in his first 100 days in office. Some northern youths have joined other Nigerians in scoring the president. They spoke to Trust TV's Neil Samson, who now brings us the verdict. Take a look.
Across the length and breadth of the nation, Nigerians have been assessing the performance of the president since he took over power in May this year. They based their verdict on the issue of the economy, workers' welfare, security, as well as the strike action by the Nigeria Labour Congress.
We've seen the vision of the president and we know his plans for the country. So we are only waiting to see those plans manifest, because we really don't want situations whereby some rich will continue to get richer while the poor will continue to get poorer. We've seen his plans, and we can only pray that he has the political will to execute those plans as it has been arranged.
What I always say to people is that you cannot judge a government in just 3 months. Rather, let us all focus on the promises of the president, and in due time, just like the president said, by December he will deliver Port Harcourt refinery. So let's give him time and watch. When you want to govern a nation like Nigeria, difficult decision must be taken. As such, the hardship we are facing in Nigeria today, I believe, is just for a little time. So I'm begging Nigerians to just give the president time. Let's see what his plans will bring out for Nigeria.
There are effects of giving the government, is it 5 billion or 2 billion? At the end of the day, it's only some group of people that are going to benefit from this. And I think since the subsidy, this is one of the major effects, this palliative, the effects to caution the subsidy, and then is the palliative. And now the palliatives are not even given to the poor and needy that needs the palliative. Instead, some part of the rich are actually taking this palliative to go and resell in markets.
Nigerians are hopeful that the president will work areas of concern and noticeable lapses in order to move Nigeria forward. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Well, there you have it. Moving on, people with special needs are among the hardest hit by the economic crunch in Nigeria, which was triggered by the removal of fuel subsidy. Too many, the struggle to put food on their tables remain a top priority while foregoing other responsibilities and necessities. Abdullahi Amadi meets some people with special needs in Mashi local government in Katsina State who shared their experience. Take a look.
Even though some of these people with special needs struggle to make ends meet, their major life dream is to have a tricycle to ease their difficulties of movement. Their difficulties has been made worse with the recent fuel subsidy removal, which affected the standard and cost of living. This is the first time in history people with special needs are considered in anything from the government. Many of us are feeling the crunch as we go to bed on empty stomach. However, we are now carried along. We have over 5 special advisors and 4 special assistants in this local government alone. We thank God. For this vulnerable group in Mashi, it is a dream come true that the local council distributes 10 tricycles and other food items to ease some of their difficulties. This gesture comes at a time when the harsh economic realities is biting hard, not only on the people with special needs, but the generality of the population.
The people with the special needs and also they belong to this local government area. As government, it is necessary, it is sine qua non for us to come up with the program that will take care of them. Not only the government, it is necessary for any other individual within and outside our society to look after the need of these people.
Public commentators suggest the immediate implementation of more measures to cushion the effects of the current economic difficulties. Abdullahi Ismail Amadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
And on the international scene, the police in Rwanda have arrested a man after more than 10 bodies were discovered buried in a hole in the kitchen of his home in the capital, Kigali. Police said on Wednesday that a 34-year-old suspected serial killer had lured his victims from bars to his rented home in Kichukiro, a Kigali suburb. Local media said more than 10 bodies had been found, and a source in the Rwanda Investigation Bureau told AFP anonymously that the number of victims so far was 14. The suspect had initially been arrested in July on suspicion of robbery and rape among other offenses, but was granted bail due to lack of evidence. Investigations continued, however, and he was rearrested on Tuesday and his home searched, leading to the discovery of the bodies dumped in a pit he had dug in his kitchen. Murangira said the suspect had confessed during interrogation to the killings and that preliminary investigation had found the victims were male and female. And in sports, in anticipation of the game against Sao Tome and Principe, all the invited players have arrived at the camp of Nigeria's Super Eagles in Uyo. The duo of Gift Orban and Victor Boniface were the first set to arrive on Tuesday before Italy-based Tyrone Ebuehi and Jordan Toroniga joined them. The team camp officially opened on Wednesday, and Greece-based defender William Troost Ekong led the rest of the players to the team hotel on Wednesday while the team observed their first training. Nigeria will host Sao Tome and Principe in the final game of the 2023 African Cup of Nations qualifier. The three-time African champions have already booked their place in the competition slated to be held in Ivory Coast in 2024, while Sao Tome is automatically out of the tournament, no matter the result they get from the game. And with that, we've come to the end of Trust News Update at this hour. Do well to follow us across all of our social platforms and watch us live on YouTube. I'm Sagir Ibrahim saying thank you for watching and stay safe.